Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are on a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world. And yes, the title is correct. FSG have put Liverpool Football Club up for sale. Or have they? Of course, we'll be talking all about the details that has come out over the last couple of hours. Again, it is breaking at the minute. There's certain things still even coming out right now about this deal anyway, and what could potentially be happening with Liverpool Football Club. Again, if anyone would like to come onto the stream and have your say, have your thoughts and your opinions about this news, then please, I think there is a pinned comment in the comment section down below if any of you would like to join and have your say on this, because I think this is huge news for the future of Liverpool Football Club, and what happens next, realistically. But guys, let me know how all of you are feeling. Let me know your overall thoughts, your emotions. Let me know everything in the comment section down below, and we'll obviously do a deep dive into everything that has come out so far, concerning, of course, the news about FSG potentially putting up the club up for sale, as well anyway. But again, John's in as well. So hello, John. Hopefully on a fantastic day, my friend. Saying big up, mate. Eugene Bassett, hope you are well. Hello, John. Hopefully on a fantastic day, my friend. As well as saying, oi, fella as well. Hello, Tom. Hopefully on a fantastic day, my friend. And again, big up, Tom. Hope you're well as well. Anyway, but we will jump straight into the news then. If I can quickly get there we go, the PowerPoint up, as well. But yeah, as you can see on screen right now, David Ornstein, of The Athletic, breaking the news about 2 hours ago now, saying exclusive: Liverpool have been put up for sale by Fenway Sports Group. Sale deck has been proceeded, and interested parties, Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley assisting evaluation process. Unclear if deals get done, but FSG inviting offers as well, and FSG themselves putting out a statement. Of course, a statement from Fenway Sports Group. There has been a number of recent changes of the ownerships and rumours of changes in ownership at EPL clubs, and inevitable. We are asked regularly about Fenway Sports Group's ownership in Liverpool. FSG have frequently received expansions on interest from third parties seeking to become shareholders in Liverpool. FSG has said before that under the right terms and conditions, we would consider new shareholders if it was for the best interests of Liverpool as a club. Liverpool as a club. FSG remain fully committed to the success of Liverpool, both on and off the pitch. And I think it's very interesting to see what they've said there as well. The fact that they are interested in majority shareholders. I think that's what a lot of people have been saying on Twitter, as well. The statement and the article from David Ornstein himself. It did lead a little bit, into potentially Liverpool selling, the full rights towards Liverpool, but selling, probably like a 40-60 majority share sale as well. But I think that's very interesting. The fact that if we quickly go back onto the statement, the fact that they've said that they, FSG have frequently received expansion interest from third parties seeking to become shareholders in Liverpool. I think that's the big one for there, to be fair. And I think the big thing in particular, where obviously I think Liverpool over the last couple of years have particularly looked about interest in like 2018, from 2018 onwards. I've been realistically looking for people to come in and invest. Yeah, and look, that isn't a secret. I don't think it has been a secret for a period of time, that Liverpool have looked openly for shareholders. I think, of course, there was that Chinese investment group that was looking back in 2018, 2019 to help out, but again, it wasn't right according to FSG. And I think that's the big thing, where of course it has to be the correct people in at the door, whether that's taking over, whether or not that's investing a big shareholder in it. I've just come back after reading a few things, and the rumors and the suggestion is that potentially FSG would prefer a full sale over a potentially 51-49 or a 60-40 type deal as well. So it's going to be interesting, and I don't think, of course, this has come just out of the blue. I think this has been planned for some time. Obviously, it isn't as theatrical as I think we all thought it would be, but it's the fact where I don't think this has just been something overnight. I think this is just something slowly that's been brewing over the last 6 months, I'd say, possibly. And now with seeing it, especially with the World Cup coming around, where you've got that 4 to 5 weeks of non-football, where potentially you could see a deal being done, maybe after the World Cup. We might finally see that as well. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will read all of your comments out. Let me quickly go back up to the chat as well. But John says, a big up Tom, hope you are well as well. Tom saying, all right John, all good mate, hope you are well as well. All good, Tom, as well, says John. Talio Albin, Kenneth Hung, a billionaire from China, wanted Liverpool 15 years ago. And now I want their signings in January. Conor Barella, Tiong, and Gavi. Yes, one or be greedy is must. And again, guys, I don't think there is going to be anything like that. Again, we're not playing fantasy football, don't get me wrong. But again, I do think there is potential. There may be January, maybe even the summertime as well. But realistically, I think FSG saw that Bellingham price tag and went, yeah, we need help. I think that's the realism of it as well. But the hi Connor and Tom as well. Big up John as well. Bry, good to see you, and you're my friend as well. Hi Bry as well. Chris is in as well, saying it's more they're looking at shareholders than new owners. They still own part of the club as well. I think that's the big one, isn't it? But I think what could potentially happen is they might want to potentially let go of the club where they're not the majority shareholders anymore, where they are just taking that back seat and allowing the next persons to come in. Now, of course, there is that thing of who does take over at Liverpool, who could buy Liverpool. Now, we already know in particular who could take over at Liverpool. And of course, we don't want that. We don't want, Saudi Arabia money at Liverpool. Some people will, of course, and they're fully in their right to have that. But again, as we know, with their particular money, where that comes from, again, we don't know where that comes from. But it's the sense of we don't want that at the club. And again, the perfect situation for Liverpool right now would be is if a fan, if it was a mad person, midlife crisis, went, bugger it, I'm just going to go and buy Liverpool Football Club. Been a fan since they were a boy, girl, whatever, and just completely bought the club out. And that was, that'd be the perfect scenario. But again, there isn't many people out there that can afford Liverpool Football Club at the present moment in time. Anyway, I will get on to as well. Spirit of Shankly, I've put out a statement as well that I will put out in a minute after I've read out a few more comments. Anyway, but if it's full sale, then fair enough as well, says Chris. Bryce says Real Madrid is a tough draw. I get that, but selling up is a bit of an overreaction as well. Yeah, to be fair, we should have been talking about this, shouldn't we, guys? We should have been talking about Real Madrid in the Champions League. But again, FSG haven't allowed us to do that, have they? And it's hilarious. Where I think over the last 2-3 hours of going again, the stories have escalated, and supposedly FSG have wanted this for some time, and again, like I said at the start of the video, I do think this has been brewing for about 6 months. But again, all because we've drawn Real Madrid again. No, of course we're only joking, and that as well, guys. Anyway, but FSG turned down a bid back down in April apparently as well. Yeah, so one thing I will say as well, the last time someone bid on Liverpool. It was reportedly £3 billion back in 2020. Was the valuation of what potentially could have been bought for Liverpool. Of course, we do have. If anyone does know, Forbes or Forbes, I call them Forbes because that's how it's spelt. But Forbes, they are usually the ones that are up to date in terms of the business side of things, at the moment anyway. And again, we'll be taking a look at their estimations and co at Liverpool at the present moment in time anyway. But I'll get to the, of course, I'll get to the Spirit of Shankly. I'm trying to take off Chris's comment. There we go. Yeah, trying to, of course, this is the statement from the Spirit of Shankly as well. Of course, their news report, and they have said that we have seen reports today that FSG have put Liverpool up for, well, Liverpool Football Club up for sale as well. The Spirit of Shankly have written to LFC for clarification and will await reply before making comment. We do, however, expect the supporters board and the SOS to be engaged in some part of the process so that supporters are front and centre of any sale and the first thought of proposing a positive talk, positive owners as well. We will keep you updated as well. So again, Spirit of Shankly, of course, they were put onto the board back, I want to say back in February, was it? They were put back on the board, or January time as well, obviously, due to the European Super League and all that stuff as well. And I think, again, that's the thing where that was to brought in and to have a voice for the fans, and that's I think the main point about this as well is the fact that we all hope that FSG listen to the fans and not just sell for the highest bidder, because I think that's the big problem as well that could potentially coming for Liverpool as well, is the fact that Liverpool and FSG could go on to sell to, they could sell to anyone, couldn't they, at the present moment in time. But I think because obviously we want the right person coming into the door, that is the major point that we want at the present moment in time anyway. But just to go back onto the report anyway, of course, that is of course FSG's statement, and of course David Ornstein as well, putting out the first report anyway that the club is up for sale anyway. But if we take a quick look then at the Forbes website then for Liverpool, and as you can see, but Liverpool are currently the fourth most expensive club in the world according to Forbes. Again, the valuation of 4.45 billion, which again is outrageous when you look at it. I think in particular, it's something where I think obviously over the last couple of seasons, obviously with the success of the club and the success of winning the Premier League, winning the Champions League, and going on to do amazing things on the pitch, of course, have escalated that tremendously well. But just taking a quick look at it, again, 4.45 billion in estimated or value, of course. Anyway, according to Forbes, Liverpool gets around, of course, 654 million. That's dollars in revenue, and of course, in again, as you can see, there's currently the valuation breakdown as well. Supposedly meant to get 60 million in per match day at Anfield, broadcasting, of course, over 2.2 million, commercial as well, over 1.4 million, and then just the brand itself is worth around 734 million pounds as well, dollars. To be fair, because of course, I think of course the dollar is more expensive than the pound at the present moment in time anyway. But those valuations anyway were done back in June of 2022. So again, relatively recent. Of course, a couple of months in with that as well. But again, in particular, I think obviously again 4.4 billion. Of course, Liverpool did reject a bid back in 2020, of 2 billion, or it was around 2 or 3 billion. But again, just even on that scale of things, you're looking at a tremendous amount of money, and I think only a certain bracket of people that can particularly go on to spend that type of money on a football club anyway. But guys, let me know your thoughts anyway, and then if anyone does want to join the stream as well, there is a link in the comment section down below. If anyone does want to join, have your say. Again, don't have to be on for long. Just I want to know your thoughts, your opinions as well. Because for me, I'll get onto my thoughts and opinions in a little bit. But again, it's a toss of two words, isn't it? At the moment, are you an FSG in, FSG out? I think that's very, very interesting for many people. Anyway, but Real Madrid is a tough draw. I get the overreaction as well. FSG turned down a bid back in April, apparently, as well, says Chris. At the other money, Liverpool, absolutely not. Joking aside, I'm worried about who comes in. No scumbags, please. And again, that's the big problem at the moment, where I think that's the topic, really. Who does come in if that is the case? If FSG, want to move aside and allow someone else to come back in, and that, of course, because we've had miserable owners, before, and obviously we've got the pain, of more recent owners, in terms of Hicks and Gillette as well. So again, it's that thing, we need to get the right person in, if that is going to be the case. And I think that's the important part about it as well. We need the correct people in the door as well. But Mark saying, now we know what was going on behind the scenes. If new owners are found, I expect a long-term building of the team as well. Yeah, absolutely, Mark. Any word of valuation? Again, I think what FSG are, and nothing's been clear yet. And if anyone sees anything on Twitter or anything, like I am trying to keep up to date with everything, if anyone does see anything, let me know in the comment section down below as well. As I say that, it's just been confirmed that Alisson and Fabinho are going to the World Cup, and no Roberto Firmino. Wow, that's a pure shock. But I thought Fabinho wouldn't have been going. But yeah, Bobby Firmino not going to the World Cup, unfortunately. Again, that's sad for Bobby, depending, because he's had a pretty decent season, hasn't he, so far, even though Liverpool have had a terrible start to the season. Brian's ready to buy as well. Yeah, absolutely. There must be 100% takeover. FSG can't compete as well as anyway. Agreed. Agreed, I'd have to walk away if some human rights abuser bought us as well. Yeah, exactly, 100%. As well, I believe someone is ready to join us. If he is ready, he's smirking. Do you want to give us a thumbs up if you're ready? That's not thumbs up. I didn't ask for that. What you're playing at, lad? I almost caught you then. I almost caught you. But to be fair, I can't hear you. Let me see. Is he on mute? I can't hear you. Are you on mute?
I know. Hello.
I can hear you now.
There we go. Okay,
How are we?
And not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Happy days. I'm made up, mate. As I was saying, I just went out to get my flu jab anyway. But yeah, it's exciting times, mate. And hopefully everyone in chat as well. And as I said, hopefully it's the right people, as Hannah's just alluded to there. We don't want the wrong people taking over Liverpool. So it's as you've already alluded to, mate, in tonight's episode, it's not going to be a quick process, but hopefully, if it is, going to be the right process, most importantly.
I'm sorry for smirking. I can see Mark and Tom already taking you out in the chat down below. So, boys, behave.
There we go, back.
Behave.
That's all right. Love you, boys. Anyway, love you all.
Looking down the back of the sofa right now, Mark. Yeah, we're all looking for those pennies anyway. But Jack, in your opinion, I think it's very interesting. Of obviously the clickbait of it is, Liverpool,
massive,
FSG, to be sold. And I think just going back onto FSG's statement, in the second. In the second paragraph, where it says, of course, FSG have frequently received offers for for share takers and third party
Yeah.
ownership. And I think that's the interesting part for me, where I do think this is more of a particular 51% to 49%, where FSG will keep the majority and have the say on a big portion of things. But then they are looking for that next person to come in and potentially help on, and I think we've said this on different videos, in maintaining Liverpool can be an elite club on the pitch a little bit, in terms of, building up. Obviously, we've gone on about it for ages, haven't we, about Liverpool not being competitive enough in the transfer market. But what are your overall thoughts about the news that's come out and the overall situations? Are you happy? Are you concerned? Are you frightened? Let me know.
A bit of everything, really, mate. I think all of us are. I was done a show with you, and me and you have spoken, just Liverpool fans in general. We're under no illusions, really, that this midfield for the last 3-4 years has needed investment. And I was speaking to you off camera, mate, for the best part of this week as well. And we were discussing Newcastle were probably the worst thing to happen to FSG in terms of them getting taken over, regardless of who it was. But Newcastle, with their fan base and obviously how historic Newcastle Football Club is in the Premier League as well, that they can elevate to the likes of greater heights. I think if they are backed in the right way, yes, the money where it's come from, but the way in which the Premier League is just allowing, they allow the Abramovich into the Premier League, Christ almighty. Does they never allow anyone into the Premier League as long as they've got money? Rightfully or wrongly, which that is, it's very wrong in a lot of aspects. But the lawmakers in England, especially in the Premier League, are very much have an open book. In reality, they're not asked to take over as long as it brings more money to the Premier League, and that's quite wrongly. But, and as I said, I don't want to be put in a position, I don't think any Liverpool fan does, with we had glitz and glamour. Well, we got advertised in terms of obviously George and Hicks, Gillette anyway, the Gillettes, and they were an absolute car crash. The fact that they were selling off our best talent under Rafford as well, and surrounding the football club, it was a dark day. We all know what happened prior to FSG coming into the club, but as I said, I think it will be. I don't think it's a full transfer, mate, in terms of shifting of power, but I think it will be a case of, as we've already alluded to as well, mate, the 11% share that Redbird Capital or Redbird Industries did acquire from Liverpool, that money got reinvested for another team for FSG's portfolio. I think they went out and bought was it Penguins or something, or they bought some other sports company in America. So it's interesting. But as Mark said there, and that's the key point, sadly, money talks, and in every walk of life, and most importantly, in world football, mate, even when you look in the 1920s, 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, when you go through the history of football, it's always who's got the most amount of money, always the majority of the time, 90% of the time, comes out on top. You only get that 10% magical story that Leicester and certain other teams, when they've won titles, have won it against the odds anyway. But as Alistair said there, Liverpool will very much get good money. And as I said, I've got to thank FSG if they are to sell the club and they sell it to the right people. Christ almighty, they've done really well. Like, if you look at it from a business point of view, Conan, and chat, they bought it for like 400 million.
300,
turned the business into like 4.5 million.
You look at
billion.
300 million bought, invested it, and builds, probably an empire, really, in many regards. And, as the scene showed it just now, estimated worth value of 4.45 billion in terms of, potential. But, and I think that's the thing as well, where the rumors at the minute, from what I've seen of certain, different people, is FSG, if they were to sell totally, they'd hope for more than what Chelsea were sold for, which was around 2.5 billion, with rising up to 3 billion. That. So, that's the thing. But again, it's who is available to buy Liverpool for that money. And again, you are putting yourself in a very small pond.
0.1% of people in the world can afford that, can't they?
Yeah, exactly. So I think I wouldn't be too surprised if we heard more news in the coming week or weeks, especially with the World Cup coming around as well. Obviously, today we should have realistically been talking more about the Champions League group, and the draw.
As I was saying to you, mate, I was on my stream before chat. I was in uni, so I was busy with work and that. And Tom messaged me and said he's seen the group, and I completely forgot about it. I was like, oh my god.
It was terrible, and United fans also as well calling rigged because they got Barcelona in the freaking Europa League, which that's funny as hell. To be fair, anyway. But yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts anyway on everything as well. Obviously, again, if there is any other news, of course, we will break it straight away as well. Anyway, but again, Jackson Connor frozen. Was
oh yeah, no, it was when I was in the car. My jar connection. So
I'm up to £8.60 says Brian as well. Hey Brian, I'll match that for you as well if you want. I'm not a business guy, but I can't imagine it will be a quick sale. A lot investors
100%.
as well. Yeah, 100%. Like supposedly there's meant to be 300 investment groups that are interested at the moment. Supposedly,
and even if you look at it, Con, in chat, as I said, as you looked at the numbers before, if we are valued at the fourth richest team in world football, the thing is, it's Liverpool Football Club, one of the biggest teams in world football, like in the last
history.
in the history of football, isn't it? And it's what that would do for a potential investor. And I was saying to Spider and John, spoke to you, mate, and chat. If someone did come in, as we said, and that's a good point of what FSG have done, they've took us to a level where we spent 30 years getting to, like winning the league. We got there now. The most important thing now in the next 5 to 10 years is that we don't drop down to that level of being like a 10th, 8th place team. But with that comes into the evaluation of the players, as you said, the infrastructure, and most importantly, the value in terms of how well respected Liverpool is from a global entity point of view. Marketing point of view, we're very well run. So whoever does come in just has to continue what FSG have done. But whoever does come in needs to improve on the playing staff as well in terms of investing into the players. And that's all you need to do. Backing Jurgen Klopp or getting the right man at the football club and the right people, then we'll be unstoppable with if we got the right people in.
Yeah, 100% as well. I'm just quickly checking something a minute on Twitter. Just to confirm, Bobby Firmino isn't going to the World Cup.
It's been announced.
Yeah, it's just been confirmed. Ali and Fabinho have made it.
Very surprised with Fabinho. I've been asking everyone's thoughts on that. Tell you what, Christ. It's almost like Fabinho was playing with Zambrake on. Like, it felt for me, mate, in chat, that Fabinho more or less knew that he wasn't going for Brazil. Because if he wasn't, but if he knew, then I think him and Virgil van Dijk's minds have been very much on
the World Cup.
The World Cup,
yeah. Obviously, I'll read out the Brazil list because, to be fair, it is all over Twitter right now. Anyway, obviously, Alisson, Edison, and Weverton, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Dani Alves is going to the World Cup.
Christ almighty, and I'll be about 90.
Dani Alves, Danilo, Alexandro, Alex Telles, Burma, Eder Militao, Marquinhos, Thiago Silva, Casemiro, Bruno Gomes, Fabinho, Fred, and Lucas Paqueta, Anthony, Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, Neymar, Pedro, Rafinha, Rodrigo, Richarlison, and Vinny Jr. That is the whole list for Brazil. So, again, to be fair, obviously that looks a really, really exciting, lineup. I would say anyway.
From a selfish point of view, happy days for all of us. Like we want Bobby to be recharged, Christ. But I think we all know how gutted Bobby would be. How old is he now? 31. That would have been his last opportunity to go to a World Cup. Maybe 45. Yeah, the next World Cup that comes around.
About that.
So I'm gutted for him, really. But as I said, that squad's mad.
Do you want football owners or business owners? Football owners.
Yeah. And that's very difficult, isn't it, Brian and chat? it's all right. Always wanting more money, but football is a business. It's a massive, innit? It's difficult, really.
I will quickly comment on this. RP saying no. I think that's xenophobia. I think you meant to put there, mate.
Yeah, we haven't
Right,
even mentioned that.
again,
Yeah,
again, we haven't really mentioned that as well. Of course, we've mentioned, in terms of money in the Middle East. Again, we're not saying that for all, and of course, we don't condone that. But again, we do try and stay respectful as we can, and
yeah.
do
I don't
I
know.
think as well,
Yeah.
But I don't think we've done any of that. By here anyway, but they will always be a big investors. Just have to get that right ones that will honour the club as well. I think the big thing is, I think FSG have the correct way about football. If we're talking
They
about
did originally at the
model,
beginning. Yeah.
yeah,
They looked at Liverpool like a business, like a lot of businesses. You've got to get the right infrastructure in place, and obviously getting Jurgen Klopp was a massive coup in terms of obviously getting a manager of that stature, but most importantly, what he was all about getting young players, developing them, taking them to a certain level, and hopefully winning league titles like he done with Borussia Dortmund. And he did do that with Liverpool. He said in his press conference, I'm going to elevate Liverpool, and we will by the end of like 4 or 5 years, he said in his interview. First one, that it would be, Liverpool would be in that top table. And we would have won at least one league title, and he's delivered.
yeah,
And hopefully, regardless of who does take us over, whatever area of the world, there's a lot of multi-billionaires from America, the Middle East, China as well, Asia. So there's going to be a lot of businessmen with a big portfolios, most importantly, that will be willing to hopefully invest in Liverpool. And even if it was shares, Connor, or chat as well, if there was a possibility of investing in Liverpool, the fact that you could potentially have a certain percentage on your portfolio or business model that you'd have Liverpool Football Club. It's like football is a billionaire's play toy, really.
yeah,
It's
100%.
it's like regardless of all these big Premier League teams that are owned by billionaires and millionaires, they enjoy having it. You don't go into them apart from when you look at FSG and made business sense, because look at the growth in Liverpool as a business in your portfolio. You bought them for like 300, 400 million, then you've transformed that into a $4 billion company or $1 million company. That is amazing sense, and that's tremendous.
Yeah,
But I think now to make Liverpool the next step, Connor, Liverpool needs to
they need the
get
money.
the right people in. Need money.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think that's the correct way to go on about it. Because I think, again, with me and you have spoke about this plenty of times, where Liverpool at the minute building the club up, from what it was, from being, this team that was around that, seventh, eighth mark, after, obviously what, rebuild it up to being that, Champions League, qualification side, and then obviously pushing forward on. But we're at this stage now where, we Aston City are the best teams in the league, and at the minute Liverpool haven't been invested correctly to keep us there. Like, and it's that similar factor of where, if anyone remembers that 2008 2009 Rafa side, that got completely taken apart and didn't get invested properly. And again, what happened the following season? Liverpool, I think, ended up finishing, I think, fifth or sixth that season, and then didn't, of course, qualify for Champions League. And then, of course, we all know what happened. And that's the thing now, where Liverpool need the investment to keep us at that top level. And it isn't spending, 3, 4, 500 million each and every single summer. I don't think that's what people are saying. But look at it, after we won the European Cup, we only bought Adrian for a free transfer. And look, that's not good enough if you're going to try and keep on to win the Premier League and the Champions League. And it's been like that over the last couple of seasons, and even the past summer. Sorry, I was a bit, but it's that factor where we bought Darwin Núñez, but then we ended up selling off then 50, 60, 70 million worth of players to make that, to level it out. And realistically, that's not good enough, because the last sale, I think you mentioned it on your stream, is the fact that Coutinho was the biggest money that we've sold ever from the club. but we don't have anyone like that at the moment where you can sell unless you sold like a Van Dijk and a Mo Salah in the same season.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And it's going to be interesting in terms of whatever happens with the football club, but in terms of the assets as a player's point of view, the assets as a business, when you look at it, they're the most important thing. Like, fair enough if Liverpool were the times when we were under Rodgers and the current crop of players that Jurgen did inherit at that time, it's absolutely atrocious. But we've got quite a lot of world-class players. Some of them, they are the best in their position in world football. So that adds to the valuation. The fan base, global fan base, adds to the valuation as well. And Anfield, it's worth billions in itself anyway. The revenue and the naming rights and everything it makes it the perfect package, really. But yeah, and we've all said, I've been even off camera with me and you, Con, and chat. We've all known, and even Jurgen Klopp, I reckon he's not legally, especially if the club is getting taken over, legally he can't comment on what was happening behind closed doors, because if anything like legally slipped, then that would obviously scupper any potential deal.
We said, didn't we? Me and you have been speaking about this for months together, and we've been saying that, that was it the Bournemouth game? FSG turned up, and we all thought it was for a big signing towards the end, and that could have been it. That could have been the meeting of him saying to Klopp, "Look, we've received some offers, a little bit,
looking to sell the club."
And that was the thing done behind closed doors. Because I think all of us at the time, we were like, oh, Arthur Melo, that wasn't really worth, FSG coming to, Liverpool and having supposedly big talks with Klopp and so on, as what was reported, I think, by James Pierce. And this, what could have been? It could have been them going, look, we're looking at offers. And they might have considered Klopp, because to be fair, I have got the little thing, because I think, obviously, Klopp has openly criticised FSG when they've been, obviously, I think with the transfer window back of the, injury crisis, obviously with the European Super League as well, Klopp was very, very frustrated with that. And
it was almost, sorry, Decon, it was almost like he was making excuses for them. And there was no reason for him to do that as well, chat, over the last couple of months. Like, yes, he's employed by them, and he obviously doesn't want to get sacked, doesn't want to publicly out them, but Klopp's not stupid. He's a man of principle as well. If he sees something, he'll say it. And as we've seen this week as well, he's not scared to say something. And whatever Jurgen Klopp does say, the media do like to twist his words. Not just Jurgen Klopp, but media in general love to twist people's words.
He's, for me, one of the most honest managers you'll get out there.
One of the most intelligent speakers as well, mate. Like Shankly, when he used to speak, everyone listened.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, 100%. I agree. But I think that's the big thing as well. And I think that's the big concern as well. If Liverpool were to get new owners as well, of course, will it be correct for Jurgen Klopp as well? Because, of course, that is the main thing, keeping him at the helm. Of course, over the last couple of weeks it has been frustrating, but he, for me, is the only person that can turn Liverpool around for the better.
And he himself, mate, and he has been on record over the last couple of years. And even this week, his comments when speaking about obviously certain issues surrounding the World Cup as well. In terms of that. But yeah, and that's a whole nother show in itself, mate, for this week as well, in terms of if we did get taken over by certain entities, what would Jurgen Klopp's stance be at the football club? Because he's got principles. I think a lot of us all have. And we want Liverpool to be run in the best way possible. But like chat's saying as well, FFP is not a thing.
No, it's not.
Especially in Europe or in the Premier League. So, and the floodgates were opened when Roman was allowed to come in. What was it, 10, 15 years later? He eventually got caught out, which, when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, the Premier League done absolutely nothing. They knew exactly where that money was coming from, done nothing. And you never know. Well, but it's a whole, it opens a whole... Yeah,
I know someone's mentioned about, having a go and so on, but you look at City, there's a big problem at the minute, and this happened, I think, last season as well, where there was a vote on self-sponsorship or something like that, and there was 18 clubs voted no. The only two who didn't were both Manchester City and Newcastle United. They were the only two, and that's factual as well. There isn't, anyone having a go. That's factual, because again, I think Klopp mentioned it as well. There are only two clubs that wanted it. And again, it's the FFP rule. How many times over the last 4 or 5 years, certainly at City's end, where we've looked at it and gone, they've broken the rules and that they've got caught out. Remember, and again, I think plenty of people forget this. They got a European ban, and obviously it got taken down to a fine.
He sent 100 lawyers, didn't he? So
yeah, and it's you got that alarmy joke of with the come on, gang, let's bloody get them. But no, it's the fact that they got caught out cheating, and then still only paid, what was it, like a £10,000 fine or something like that. It was ridiculous, wasn't it? And again, it's that fact that in chat I've mentioned. I'll get to all your comments in a moment, but it is that fact that at the moment clubs can get away with everything. At the obviously, if anyone's an F1 fan, obviously Red Bull with the whole cost cap situation, that was a big talking point in Formula One, and of course potentially they broke the rules and so on, and that has been a big talking point here. Same with football, realistically. Again, it's been that topic for a very long time of people are breaking the barrier. Of course, I think PSG wanted, I think Barcelona and Manchester City investigated. I think City wanted PSG investigated. It was that whole debacle. I think it's still going on at the moment as well.
It's literally going to open up a whole kind of worms in reality in terms of everything. But we all know the big industries, the Premier League, the FA, and especially UEFA and FIFA. About in the next 5 or 10 years, if there was an internal undercover investigation, everyone said for years about Sepp Blatter, and everything was denied by FIFA, and then lo and behold, the FBI investigate them, and then man gets arrested.
Well, so we look at it now. We've got a World Cup that was built on corruption. In many regards, so there you go. But we'll get into a few comments anyway. But I know it's been a boring keeping bringing it up. But FSG bought us because they thought FFP would actually work, and they knew City and PSG could do whatever they do. They would have said no, in my opinion, as well. Again, though, to be fair, it's that thing as well that on our end we've kept to the rules. We've kept to what the model should be. But obviously that model isn't taken into consideration by other clubs as well. But to Allenton as well, saying thanks FSG, but it's time to move on as well.
Yeah, Alan. I was on a podcast with Alan a couple of weeks ago, and Alan was probably one of the first people to actually say there was something going behind closed doors that was very amiss from the club.
Alan, I'll be contacting you later on. Do you know something we don't know? But yeah, good to see you in your Al as well. Ian's in as well. Ian, I think you're new around here as well, so thank you for popping in as well. And to be fair, I'm just looking now. I think we've got 75 people in as well. So if we can get, like button up, I think we're on 19 at the minute. So if we can get on to 20, that'd be very much appreciated.
Come on, let's get chat. Let's get Connor to a K. If that's subscribe button as well.
If we can. FFP is not enforced. City violate the rules consistently and face zero punishment. Yeah, absolutely. Good afternoon and good evening. Hello, Doug. Hope you're having a fantastic day. If you can take a gold medal off a sprinter on steroids, you should take titles off financial doping clubs as well. That's a whole other video, isn't it, Bri?
Yeah, they haven't got the bottle. Like whoever runs like the Premier League, Champions League, or UEFA, they haven't got the bottle to it because there would be a load of lawyers involved, to say the least.
Mark with Bezos is incoming. It's bloody hell. I think a lot of people on Twitter were asking for Elon Musk as well.
Elon had literally come in and start charging everyone an extra $5,000 for the season ticket. You know how Elon Musk is. Or either that, he'll be having like electronic players playing up front, scoring 50 goals a season.
Be that bloody weird as hell.
Seems when Erling Haaland's an actual robot anyway.
It's like, look, I can prove it now. PSG chairman is one of the guys making the rules as well. It's bloody hell. Brian says it's a mafia as well. Tom is in as well. Hello, Tom. Hopefully on a fantastic day, mate. Saying, hi, lads. It's been talking about this afternoon. It's all afternoon with LFC supporters, mates, as well. Yeah, it's the main topic. And it's, again, I think obviously Pep Linders is going to have an absolute nightmare tomorrow talking about this in the Derby press conference tomorrow. So again, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Hit the like button, please, as well. Yes, you could. Very much appreciate it as well. Diego's in saying, in La Liga, Real Madrid have drawn only 2 games, both against Granola and Osman as well. They both played formation of 4-1-4. When if you can watch both games, the midfield battles were key in both. Again, we need our midfield to, act up, don't we? Neil says, could be like Arsenal, where they had multiple shareholders a few years ago. I think that would be a good thing. Like Henri has 50% of the rest is divided into 2s as well. So again, yeah, I think that is the way to go. I think at the minute, where I don't think FSG are totally going to be sold up, but again, I do think it is going to be cut up anyway. But how long?
Sorry, there, mate. It's good to see a couple of new faces as well.
Yeah,
if you are new round here, Connor's going to be live streaming quite a lot this weekend. I think all of us will be on all the channels.
It's a big week, isn't it? Really, because we've got
big week.
Obviously it's the week before the World Cup, so of course we're going to be talking loads about Liverpool anyway. So if you're new around here, please subscribe. Head over to Anfield Road TV as well and subscribe over today as well. How long do you reckon it will take for the club to be sold, and who do you think? It will take months, I think, for a total sale. I think months. If it's a majority sale, I think it might be something after the World Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if it's a majority share or like not full control, but a bigger control of the club, as Con said there, I think it will be Jonathan a bit quicker. But as you've already alluded to in chat, obvious, like it will be difficult. And as for anyone taking over, I don't think me or Connor or any of us really the wisest. I think once we see the names, then obviously we can all discuss, and rightfully or wrongly, there's going to be names that people. That if it's always people with billions of pounds, like it's going to be, as we said, a small percentage of people, but it's who those people will be. We'll find out.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. It's a pity I'm working, otherwise I would have done the usual draw, and this may do something when I get home as well. Doug, if you need people, of course, just give us a shout. Good luck in your UCL campaign as well as Diego as well. Well, again, I think the dates have actually been announced, but I haven't had time to
February. Yeah, I think it's the beginning of February around that
time. Hello as well. Hello, CJ. Hopefully on a fantastic day, my friend, as well. Jonathan asking, who do you think will buy it? I haven't got a clue, mate. I haven't got a clue. Mark says, very clear by FSG to say this is just before the January window, so they don't buy anyone. Newcastle used to do this every year to get out of paying some players. A load of rubbish. Don't fall for this trick as well. I do think that and a lot of people were asking the question, would Anfield, the Annie Roads end be finished off? That's a yes. I've seen some people on Twitter were worried about that, and I think it's going to be 100%.
Oh yeah, all that's done before closed doors, basically. I think before they do the construction, everything's paid for beforehand.
Yeah, I think the roof's actually coming. I think the roof's going on
very close.
I think next week, so that should be good. Anyway, but like, share, and subscribe to the Cop Council. Trying to get Colin to 800. Yeah, 800 first, and then of course 1,000. Hopefully by the end of the season. Yeah, it will be never happen. I know. I just don't count them anyway. Same with any titles Newcastle win. Off topic, sorry as well. Of course, that's Jack's link as well, and obviously Doug's link. Thank you, Mark, for that as well. Valentine's Day, I'm hearing as well. And I think that was with the Champions League fixtures as well. Anyway, but we'll take a quick run through anyway of what we've, of course, spoken about in today's video. Of course, obviously, David Ornstein, the main person breaking the news, of course, of FSG, putting Liverpool up for sale. Of course, obviously, FSG putting out their statement as well, obviously saying that they've received a numerous amount of third party shareholder requests and so on as well. And of course, FSG also saying that they are fully committed, still fully committed towards Liverpool on and off the pitch as well. Of course, Spirit of Shankly have had their say on it as well, saying, of course, they're not going to comment on anything yet, but they are hoping for both the supporters board and the SOS to engage in part of the process as well. So hopefully we'll know some more on that as well. And of course, we've spoken about, potentially, what it could mean for the club. And of course, Jurgen Klopp as well in that bracket of things as well anyway. But Mark saying we are piggy bank of FSG supporters portfolio. They won't sell, just getting hopes up well buying new ones as well. And Jack saying smash the likes chat before we do go as well. Yeah, again, and the one thing I will show before we do head off as well is that big screen for you guys as well. According to Forbes as well, Liverpool are
Can you zoom in
estimated.
there, Ma? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm zooming in. Liverpool at the present moment in time are worth 4.45 billion at the present moment in time. If I quickly go back down, of course, it does break down the numbers as well, of course. So estimated Liverpool get around £60 million per match day, according to Forbes. Of course, the broadcasting deal is currently up to 0.2 million. And I think that's 200 million, isn't it? In terms of that commercial, obviously 1.4 100 million as well, and then brand, of course, 734 million in terms of that as well. And of course, if I scroll a bit further down as
Oh no,
well,
that's billion. That con. Yeah.
Is it billion? Yeah, billion.
Yeah, 1 point.
And then as you can see there, the graphs then as well, obviously the highest it's been for some time as well. Of course, this was taken as well in June as well, so it is very, very recent and up to date as well, of course. So again, obviously, if it was done, maybe back 2-3, years ago, then we would take it with a pinch of salt. But it does say June 2022. So again, very much up to date with it as well. But join these great channels above for more LFC news as well. Yeah, absolutely, as well. And the last comment of the video: see, we draw Real Madrid. It's really good to get them out of the way early as well. But again, it's mad, isn't it? We've got Madrid, obviously PSG, Bayern as well. That's going to be big. So.
It's the thing, if we can get past them, Tom and Con and chat, then I tell you what, there's going to be a lot of smaller teams in the next rounds, even City, and Porto and the boys.
Benfica and Club Brugge. That's going to be a good game.
Yeah, Napoli potentially looking like they could go through as well. So I just remember when under Rafa, that great Real Madrid side come to Anfield all those years ago with Torres, Gerrard, and the boys. We absolutely wiped the floor with them there. And obviously, when we did play them in the knockouts a couple of seasons ago, we didn't have fans, did we? So it's going to be a completely different atmosphere. The crowd's going to be up for it as well. And the Reds will all be baying for blood in reality. We're wanting to get revenge, but we've got to do the job in the first leg.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first leg's at Anfield, isn't it? So hopefully we can set the marker down on that as well. Anyway, but Raz saying we need 2 midfielders. Great stuff, lads, as well. Wanted to smash PSG though as well. We'll do that.
Bayern can do that, Mark.
And Tom saying that's a good positive point, Jack, of the effing Reds as well. Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, still remember that day, Fernando Torres and Steven Gerrard absolutely battering Real Madrid at home.
I tell you what, if they didn't have Casillas in goal that game, it'd be
7-0.
7-8. When you got the centre, bloody love it. Remember when we had the centre, Christ? The world's greatest ever left back to play for Liverpool, Christ. But that was a mad weekend in his life. That was the best week of his life anyway, after his marriage anyway, the Sonny, because man scored against Real Madrid and Man United and went absolutely mad. But yeah, that's the thing. We've got all the way until February, so a lot can happen in terms of injuries for both clubs. Or
brand new signing.
Yeah, we can have a whole new squad if we get taken over there, Reds. You never know.
You've given everyone hope now. That's the problem.
whole new 11, Christ, imagine.
Doug saying you're on 780 now, so thank you everyone for the subscribing. I think we've gotten 14 subscribers over the video. So thank you for subscribing. I do very much appreciate each and every single one of you. What time to be a Liverpool fan? Come on, the lads as well. Again, if we can get 2 wins now, of course we can beat Derby midweek, and then we can beat Southampton. Of course, managerless Southampton now. Of course, obviously the news that Ralph got sacked this morning. So again, hopefully we can beat them, and then of course the World Cup, and hopefully we'll have the likes of Luis Diaz, Diogo Jota back, and then hopefully Liverpool will look 10 times better coming back after the World Cup anyway. But if you guys have
getting arrested as well, So
Oh yeah, and Bobby, yeah,
yeah,
and potentially other players as well. Maybe there might be
yeah,
one or
we'll
two
find out.
shocks in the World Cup squads, of course. But of course, we'll mention, we'll bring everything to you guys, anyway, if there is any other breaking news, anyway. But guys, have a fantastic rest of your Monday. It is Monday today. Yes, it is Monday.
What a
Um,
Monday,
yeah,
Christ! I think always,
I
even
thought
if
it
you've
was
been in
Wednesday.
work today or college or school, you're like, bloody hell. Now, everyone goes, Mondays are boring, aren't they? But today, Christ, I
Exciting.
think we've all come out of school or work or going into work in quite a good positive mood, which is good, especially after
Yeah.
the season we've started. The way we
it,
started the season.
it could be worse, couldn't it? We could be down and out right now, but there is still hope and chance. Good to see you this afternoon, lads. You have brightened up my negative news day for me up the effing Reds
Hope you're
as
good,
well,
Tom, lad,
Tom.
anyway.
Yeah,
And I said, big up
hope hope
everyone.
hope you're
Yeah.
good, Tom. And again, if you want more content, then guys, then please hit the subscribe. And if you like me and Jack taking the mick out of bad situations, then just head over to both of our channels because we like taking the mick out of situations.
We all wing all the episodes anyway. No
Yeah.
planning or that. Or
To be fair, we used to plan things, but now we don't. We 100%
went
don't.
downhill. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
big up.
100%.
You or everyone that's watching that makes the channels anyway. So
Absolutely. Anyway, but guys, have a fantastic rest of your Monday. Hopefully, there'll be some more news on this, and if there is, we'll be live straight away for it anyway. But I've been Connor from the Cop Council.
hang on. Sorry, there, lad.
Whoa.
Daddy, try and be a little bit positive, lads. You never know. Matthew signing midfielder. Just bring up commentator. Yeah. Get out with that negativity.
Look,
in a bit, Daddy. Have a lovely rest of your afternoon or night. But yeah,
look,
be positive.
hang on. Wait. Like, Liverpool will be better after the World Cup. I guarantee this. I guarantee it. I watch this now. You come back with that's a shite. Still, anyway. But again, hopefully, have a fantastic rest of your Monday. Anyway, see you soon. Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.